soon, so I thought, why not come and see who's all gonna be on here. And speaking of dinner, what are you guys having for dinner today? I'm hoping we're having some lamb chop loins. Been dreaming about those, so finally got some. So hopefully we'll get to have some of those. Um, if you've never had lamb chops or like any type of lamb, little steak loin type of deal, so good, phenomenal. Um, yeah. But my name's Tatiana if you're new here. I am a carnivore girly who is a health coach as well. Um, yeah, we are super excited to be here. Yeah, so kind of hopefully we'll have some people come in. If not, that's all right. Um, yeah, I just wanted to kind of share a little bit. Kind of been having a really good week. Been eating some really good food. Had a really nice breakfast today. I had this like scrambled eggs and like my beef bowl that I always have, but I put like the Gruyere cheese in there, and that like took it next level. I finished scrambling my eggs and I like popped it into the oven, and it was just on point, tasty. You'll see a video coming out soon with the rest of that meal, and it was delicious. One of my favorite breakfasts lately, so that was yummy. But I'd love to know. I can't see the chat here. Sorry, I'm such a noob here. One day I'll get better. I would love to see the chat. How do I do that? Okay, there you go. Oh, hello, Agatist. I recognize your name. I appreciate you so much. You support the channel so much. So I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Hello from Glendora, California. Wow. What's the weather like today? Was it in the 70s or something over there? Yeah. Um, 70s? Oh, that's nice. Winter in the 70s, you just can't beat that. That's crazy. Hopefully you're outside a lot of the time. Hopefully you prioritize that because it's beautiful when it's the nice warm weather. Hey, what are we talking about? You tell me, what are we talking about today? Talking about some carnivore things, healthy lifestyle, kind of wherever the chat takes us, we'll talk about. Um, Kind of, I don't know, just a little bit about kind of how I go about my healthy lifestyle is basically I put like a natural minded cap on when I do anything healthy lifestyle. And so I'll always go for like a carnivore base and everything else is just natural. So I'm trying to go with more natural fibers. I'm trying to wear more cotton. I'm trying to do the least amount of toxics in the home, staying away from scents, things like that. I can assure you I am real. This is not AI. But thanks for being here. Uh, where did you learn about carnivore? So I first learned about carnivore back when like Paul Saladino was still doing carnivore. So a while ago, was I was yeah, just kind of searching. I did like a lot of like the bodybuilding style like workouts routine. I ate a lot of just like that type of diet as well, and I never really focused on getting good quality fats, getting good quality meats. I just focused on proteins, hitting my macros, and that stuff. And so I was just at a point where I just wanted to heal some things, and my gut wasn't healed. I had lactose intolerance for all my life from like age 9 to 19, and I was like, this is not normal. I shouldn't feel this way. And so went down a big rabbit hole, found carnivore through like Paul Saladino. Believe Sean Baker was one of the main people I followed too. And I just kind of learned that like, okay, let's try it. Let's try see if I can just heal my gut, and if the whole lactose intolerance thing was something I could heal, or was I stuck with it for the rest of my life. And sure enough, just being like consistent and strict carnivore for a while, I was able to like reintroduce dairy and not have a problem. So that's kind of how I found carnivore. But let's see if I can catch up. I don't know what that comment is. Forecastify. And then Fanny Schmidt, have you heard about the? My goodness, what is going on, guys? Let's keep it. Let's keep it carnivore and healthy lifestyle. I don't know what that is. Um, let's see. Are vegetables as toxic as most carnivores say, or are they just not necessary? King, a just Real Madrid fan. Thanks for the comment. I would say it depends on the person. I don't. There are some that are more toxic for sure and that are more gut disrupting. Um, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to decide, like, are you thriving currently? And if you aren't and you are eating vegetables, I would say take them out because they can be very toxic. But are they like the enemy entirely? I would say like seed oils, processed foods, and high concentrated things of vegetables could be the worser, thing and what we want to avoid. I don't like vegetables really. I have them very, 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 very rarely. Like in my last video, you saw that I had like a little bit of green beans. Do I think you should have that daily, weekly, monthly, on the regular? I don't. But are they the poison that we're eating? I don't think so. I think they're more on the not necessary side, and they can be toxic, especially to some people. And it's just kind of like it kind of has to play with what your body how your body receives them, and yeah, like, what are your goals? I don't prefer to have them in my daily diet, no. So not necessary is probably where I'd mostly put them. Sorry guys, I need water. And roasted Brussels sprouts, it's fantastic. I actually don't love Brussels sprouts from before, so I would never add that. Like, I would add anything. If anything, I'm doing like a special meal, it would be a green bean, but I'm okay on that. But I'm glad you roast them. That makes them sound a little better for me. Do you snore when you sleep? Anthony's asking. No, I don't believe I do. Maybe my husband can attest to that if we bring him on the channel sometime. I don't think I do, unless I'm like very sick, but I don't really get sick very often. I have had a broken nose for a good part of my life, so you'd think I would snore. So no, I would say no. How much water do you consume in a day? So my take on water is actually not, it's not the same as most people in the health world or industry, if I'm being honest. I don't think you necessarily need the same amount of water every single day. I think it varies day by day and person by person. You have no idea how much salt I'm intaking, how many different electrolytes I'm intaking, and you don't know what kind of exercise I'm doing, how much energy I exert, how much I sweat during the day or night, or the activity level I have, or if I'm just completely sitting down all day, or if I'm out in the sun. You have no idea. And so that's where it's I need different amounts of water each day. And some days it's more, and some days I'm craving more, and some days I am I realized I didn't drink as much as I did yesterday. But now I've come to a place where I don't really worry about that, because I'm, like I said, my whole healthy lifestyle is I put a natural minded thing to everything. So natural minded cap. And so the natural minded cap is that if I'm thirsty, I will drink. And if there's any signs that I need water, then I will drink water. I don't really force it. I used to do the whole, like I said, the bodybuilding lifestyle, and that was drink a gallon a day. And for what? I don't know. Yeah, you're doing cardio, you're doing usually 2 a days or whatever. But I don't view that as healthy. I think your body is going to tell you, your mouth is going to tell you what you want, what you need, and so on, especially if you've healed gut issues, hunger cues, all those things. So how much water do I consume a day? However much I want that day, however much I need. So if any of you are like that, I would love to know, because I feel like I'm a rare type out there who doesn't view it, or who views it a little different than most health professionals or people. Hi Zoe. Thank you. I am F greatness. Agate, still appreciate you. Oh yeah, we'll be gifting some memberships, so can I see your nails? There's my nails. Hopefully they're not dirty. I definitely have like a thing with my nails. Like these are all a little bit longer, but then these two that I'm like always like picking up my cast iron with or whatever it may be, like they just dole out, but these are always so much more long. But yeah, there's my nails. I don't do anything to them. I just, when they need trimming, I trim them. When they need filing, I file them. I don't put anything on them as far as like nail polish or nail growth or anything like that. I do view, speaking of nails, the whole like healthy lifestyle thing. I believe that you'll have healthy nails when you eat a proper like healthy diet. Like before, I would have very, very like thin nails that wouldn't really grow very evenly. They'd have like the little white lines here, or they'd be like not very pretty. And I'm actually kind of proud of how like the length of them lately. So definitely, if you eat a collagen-rich diet and all of that stuff, it's definitely going to show. So yeah. Van life. What's your thoughts on our Lord and Savior? I don't know what the whole last part is, but I do love our Lord and Savior, the like Jesus Christ. But not sure what the spaghetti stuff's about. Zoe11, people are mean to me at school. I'm sorry to hear that, Zoe. I hope and pray that that stops and that you just have confidence to continue to keep going. It's always, people are always going to be mean. It sucks, but people are always going to be mean. You just have to be strong enough, and soon you'll find a good community of people, even if it's a few amount of people. Sometimes few is better, more quality that way. So I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that gets better for you. Okay, Alex Gonzalez. So what's your opinion about going on a carnivore diet? Obviously, I love that. I love anything in the meat-based, animal-based carnivore realm. I think carnivore diet is amazing. I've attributed so much healing to the carnivore diet, and it's been amazing to feel this way and feel different and have this healed gut. My skin's a lot better. I don't get sick very often, and I can attribute all that to eating more like a carnivore diet, and so it's amazing. So I'm for it. I'm for any type of nutrient-dense diet. Obviously, in the reverse, I'm not for eating like more on like the vegetables and only diet. I don't really like that. I prefer someone to say I'm gonna go on the carnivore diet, or I'm gonna go meat-based, or I'm gonna go like anything where it's, we should be eating steak, we should be eating ground beef. If you want to eat anything else, okay, but carnivore diet, I am for that. Hello, Sherry. Let's see. Is that Andri? Andri, is that how you say that? I'm not sure. Your body needs so many different nutrients for so many different processes, so you have to eat everything: meat, fish, fruits, vegetables, etc. There's a lot of great, amazing things in meat and in the fats, and you can have different fish if you want to add fish in there. You can, fruits, I would say my thing with fruits is if you are going to have fruits, I would say have them in season and make sure they're ripe and try to go for the best quality. And vegetables, like I was saying before, if you're not thriving, I would take them out. If you are doing okay with them and then they are the not as toxic ones, if you really must have this ideology that you need vegetables, I would just go with like the least toxic. But I don't think your body needs them. I don't think your body needs them to thrive. So yeah. Can I have mod, please? Like mod pizza. You can make carnivore pizza or an animal-based pizza. I've come to a point where I just love making things myself, so I don't really crave going out. So hopefully that encourages you. Maybe you'll be more like that one day, where you just maybe make it yourself. What about eating meat from nature, such as game meats? I think that's wonderful if you have that. If you have like a family member who hunts, or if you have access to buying that, that's amazing. I think that's great. I recently tried, what did I try? I think it was deer steak. I don't know what part of the deer was it, but that was tasty. I love all those like gamier meats. But for me, the most gamey thing I can really get access to right now is just lamb, and it's not like deer, elk, what you would go and hunt for. So I think that's awesome, and it's an amazing skill to learn to have, to be able to go out and hunt and do that yourself. I think that's a very good skill, I would say. And eating it is wonderful. Yeah, I don't know what that is, the monkey, if you're not talking about mock pizza. Let's see. Is fructose from fruit bad for you? Let's see. It does. It just depends, like, on who you are, what your goals are. Sugar is sugar, in a sense. So you'll want to be aware of, if you have any issues like cancer, disease, like dementia, things like that. Oh wow, that was a very generous gift. I don't know where that went. I'll come back. I don't know how to see those things. That's crazy. Okay. I'll go find that in just a sec. But let me finish your thought. Fructose from fruit, bad for you. No, but if you have issues, it could be. And I don't think you should have it daily if you're worried about like trying to get rid of like cancer cells or disease cells, or because sugar is sugar, I will admit, but I think a ripe fruit in the right time is good. Let's see. I don't know how to see that gift emoji, whatever that was, but thank you very much. What was it?
Jewels.
Oh, jewels. Those are very cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Let's see. I just joined. What are we talking about? We are talking about all things healthy lifestyle, meat-based, carnivore, anything in that realm. Nico, let's see, deer, elk, bear, and wild hog. Have you had every single one of those animals? Because I can't say that I have. That's pretty awesome. How do you? That's awesome. Do you hunt yourself? Because that sounds great. Deer, elk, bear, wild hog. Why does it matter? Well, you are joining the chat, sir. So you tell me. It matters because healthy lifestyle is a good thing. Let's see. When you started carnivore, did you do cold turkey or ease into it? I've tried a few times and have a hard time sticking to it. Withdrawals, food noise, definitely want to do it for at least 90 days. I think doing it for at least 90 days is amazing. I think when people try to say I do carnivore and do it for just a week, 2 weeks, or even 30 days, like it's just not enough to fully get any effects or benefits or really feel what it's like to be on carnivore, to really like go into a more like keto state. Not that that's always my goal, but like you feel a difference. You feel the energy's different. Your body is just operating in a different way, and so you'll notice like the brain fog clear up. You'll notice a lot of maybe things that you're trying to heal actually get healed once you go beyond that 30-day range. And so 90 days is, I think, wonderful. When I did start carnivore first, I believe it was more of like carnivore, like all the meats. And I didn't do, like I didn't do dairies really. I just did all the different meats. And so I mean meat and seafood. And then at a certain point I just went like meat only pretty much. And so I kind of just dove into it entirely. I didn't just like add stuff in here and there. Like I didn't have any vegetables. I didn't take like the keto route into it, like the standard vegetable keto route into it, or an animal-based route into it. I was just like, okay, let's go carnivore. Let's eat as much steak, as much ground beef as possible, and then I'll add a little bit of some different fishes and chickens if I wanted to. And so I did that for like, I think it was like 6 to 9 months, maybe closer to a year. And that's when I began to add other foods in, like other cheese or dairy or yogurt, and to see how my gut would react. But I'm sorry they're having a hard time sticking with it. It can be challenging because, like you think about it, it's been a whole lifetime of yours that you've been eating carnivore, or not carnivore, processed foods, or just the standard American diet, or wherever you are, like what that type of diet, you've been eating that, you've been accustomed to that. And so you have to just, when I coach people who have a hard time sticking with it, I start them out with like an animal-based diet, or we go with like the keto-ish diet and transfer them in like a ketovore diet, and we transfer them in, because that's a better way for them to stick with it. Because if you do go cold turkey and you've already tried it so many times and you've fallen off or you've not done it well, that's just not going to be sustainable for you. So if we tried the other route of like getting rid of the processed foods, okay, once that's done for a few weeks or a week, okay, I'm confident with that, let's move on. All right, let's get rid of any grains. All right, confident with that. Okay, great. Let's move on to fruit. Okay, what's the least toxic fruits that we can be eating? All right, great. I'm confident with that. I'm feeling good. I don't have any of these crazy processed food addictions, cravings, or, like I want to eat more carbs, like I'm lessening that gradually. And so it's easier to then, okay, let's take out fruit, and then let's have our carbs only be dairy, and then so on and so on. I find that to be really, really helpful for people who are struggling with sticking with it, because it's teaching yourself like diligence in sticking to something, but you're also doing it in a way that you're learning along the way, and you're doing it to where I can stick with this. I mean, I achieved this. I took out seed oils. That's great. I took out processed foods. That's great. I took out grains. It's great. And like, it's these little victories that keep you like kind of addicted to the process of I'm getting healthier and healthier. Like, this is awesome. I want to keep going. And so I think that's a really helpful tip for a lot of people that I've helped. If there's I think a very few amount of people who can just go like cold turkey into it. So if you need to ease into it, don't beat yourself up. Ease into it. Make a little plan. Try to ease into it a certain way, and then say by this date I want to be full carnivore. But if you make it into that way, I think it's a little bit more helpful that way. And of course, I do offer coaching if you do want more of an in-depth dive into that. I would love to go into that with you. Hello, Joel. Do you have a pet? I do not have pets, no. One day, if I get myself a homestead and big ol' lot of some land, maybe we'll have a pet or two. Do you watch Stare Things? If you're meeting Stranger Things, no. Let's see. Do I eat veal, lamb, bison, buffalo, wild game meat? Alex, let's see, do I eat veal? I believe I've had a couple of things of veal. I don't really get my hands on that too much. Let's see, lamb, I do eat lamb. I have some lamb ready on set for dinner. And then we have some bison occasionally. I think we've had a buffalo, was it a filet? I don't remember. Some sort of smallish steak of a buffalo. I just don't have it as often. Honestly, one day if I have a higher budget, I would love to implement those other meats a lot more regularly. Where's that? Ooh, the orange one. I'm sorry, I missed the super chat from Agatist. You'll have to like pronounce that or like type that in a comment for me so I say that right, because you are a great loyal supporter and I really want to get your name right without messing it up or not having the confidence to say it. But how have you and your husband's family reacted to the two of you being carnivore? So that's a great one. Thank you so much for your super chat. That is just super generous. I appreciate you so much. I genuinely appreciate your support on all the videos and the channels. So thank you so much. But they weren't as, they didn't receive it well in the beginning. But granted, this has been like 5.5-ish years or maybe a little bit more. And they just, we got everything. Well, you're gonna maybe die or heart attack or all these different things, or it's not healthy. It's, yeah, just all those things at first. And then over time, I think people just got more like aware of maybe we shouldn't be eating all this processed food. Maybe we shouldn't be eating this food that doesn't seem natural or that bloats me or all this stuff. And so I think our family's kind of like, seen that little bit of a mental like shift, or just like the shift in the just in our world, sicknesses and all that stuff. And so like having more and more people, maybe their friends started carnivore and then they went back to like, oh, they do carnivore, and so like it just became a little bit more well known, I think, and people got to have more other testimonies and stuff, so they kind of got less freaked out because they are able to like, okay, maybe it's not as bad. And so some of our family members actually have done carnivore now over the time, it's been 5 years or so, and so some of them done carnivore, they've done an animal-based diet, they've done more of like a whole foods and a meat-based approach, and so I think they're more like susceptible to trying a more nutrient-dense diet, and that's just amazing to me. Like if I can be an influence to my family to hopefully second guess eating processed foods and feeding their family processed foods, like that is a dream and a goal for me. Like I want all the people I love and all of you guys out there to just eat a little bit more nutrient dense and to take away processed foods. Like we shouldn't be eating food that isn't food. If you do want to eat whole foods, okay, have your whole foods, but eat some nutrient dense foods and take away the processed foods, the seed oils, the things that are fake. But yeah, my husband's family and I, my family and my husband's family reacted, it's interesting. It's been a roller coaster. It's been, it was like rough in the beginning. We got into some arguments and things like that. And then it got better, and actually people have, someone said that when they went on carnivore, one of our family members, that his knee pain went away, or people say I felt less bloated, and they would actually get to feel real symptoms being relieved. And so I think that was so helpful, so amazing. So that was awesome. Like that. Okay, let's see, next one. You don't need any fruit or vegetables a long time. Meat after you have been deceived. I read that totally wrong, didn't I? You don't need any fruit or vegetables a long time. Meat eater, you have been deceived. Oh, I don't think you need them long time. I think if someone wants them, I don't think it's what is exactly killing them unless they have a problem. But I think meat is what we need to be focused on. What is your favorite cut of steak? King Adjust, Real Madrid fan. My favorite cut of steak, it's gotta be a tenderloin or filet mignon. It's just so good, so tender. I know it's not the most fatty and like glorious like carnivore food because the fat content is just not there, but it's just so tender, so good, and I don't have it that often. I think it was the last video I actually did have it. We found it on a good deal, and so like if it's on a good deal, we'll try to get it. But if I could have that on the regular, that would be insane. I would love that so much. But yeah, I personally have actually never had a tomahawk, so I can't even throw that into the mix. Maybe if we continue to grow on this channel, maybe we'll do a little tomahawk try taste test reveal. That'd be awesome. So I can compare a tomahawk to a filet. But yeah. Is tomahawk ribeye the next comment, Alex? Is tomahawk ribeye, is that your favorite steak? I wouldn't know that, unfortunately. I would love to go out and get myself a tomahawk, but the budgeter in me sometimes it's just not allowing me yet. So if we can just grow this channel a little bit more, you'll be seeing a tomahawk on this channel, okay? You just keep supporting, and we'll get there. Let's see, Agate. I really like Element. At first I only thought that the salted one was the best, but it's too strong of a taste, so I drink the lemonade and a few other flavors. Yeah, nice. I'm glad you like Element. I don't actually drink any electrolytes, like a powdered like form of electrolytes, but if they work for you, if you like them, that's great. The only thing that I don't love about like all the different flavored electrolytes is they usually have like stevia or some other type of sweetener, and I don't like that. Like back again, the natural minded Cap, like I don't really want to be eating something that could be intentionally hurting my gut, and after having that whole time of healing my gut, like I don't, it's not worth it to me. If I need some salt, I'll do like the Baja Gold liquid droppers of a concentrate that has a little bit of like a very minute amount. Like you can kind of call it an electrolyte, but it's not really. It's just like a salt, like ocean minerals concentrate basically. So if you, that's kind of where I stand. I can't like resonate with you, you know. But if it works for you and you like it and you don't have any issues, that's great. Let's see. We sent 5 memberships. My husband's the best. He's helping me without all this stuff, so just shout out to him. Thank you so much for receiving some gifts tonight. We have Essential Michelle. Love that. Brian. We have Michiana Steve. Tyrone Berg. Michelle. Awesome. Thank you guys. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Let's see. And then I get Gary. They make it too easy. I don't remember what that comment was. Hi, Santos. And then love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Amen. Richard, what you all the time. You are a winner. Just eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs and thrive. Yes. Yeah, that is sad. We should, for Zoe. I'm sorry, Zoe, again. And I think that's an inappropriate comment. Let's see. King adjust. Okay. Do you plan on being a carnivore for life? Do I plan on being a strict carnivore for life? It just depends. Like, I will never go away from carnivore as my, like, 80 to 99% of my life, like, my style. I'm never going to go backwards to where I will eat, like, more vegetables, more grains in a sense, and, like, that'll be most of my diet. Never. I will always be focused on red meat. I will always be prioritizing red meat, butter, beef. Like, that will be where I will live and stay, and that's what I will, like, hopefully raise my family on, eating more of a nutrient-dense diet, lifestyle. And if I do want to switch more so to, like, animal-based, okay, great. If I do end up, having children and I need to make any switches, I'll always stay carnivore and then have, like, a switch, or I'll always be meat-based and have a little bit of a switch. I think meat is just, it's too good for you to not eat it, to not prioritize it, so I will always stay in a meat-based lifestyle for life. Carnivore strictly, I don't think I would stay, just eating meat for life. Yeah. Am I Jewish? No. Fiznod. Oh, is that where the jewel went? Okay. I gotta figure this out, guys. I thank you so much, Fiznod. That is insane. You are incredibly generous. Thank you for that. Alex, wow. So do I dive right into it or just start slow? And thank you. I've been listening to you a good while. I appreciate you. The Reader's Digest version. I don't know what the Reader's Digest version is, like, tagged on to that comment, but I appreciate you being a supporter for a while now. Like, that's awesome. I love to hear that. And so do you dive into it right away? Let's see. I'm going to start slow. Oh, you commented again. Venison is deer. Oh, thank you. I'm going to start slow. I'll continue to watch your videos, and thank you again. Have a good evening. Yeah, I would say, if you haven't been able to stick with it, if that's the same commenter, I don't really want to swipe all the way up because then I will lose it because I am like that. But if that was you that was asking those other questions earlier, if you think that would help you versus, going insanely into it and diving into it, I think that would be beneficial because you're trying to create lifetime, like long-term, new healthy habits. And if you just start it and you can't and you regress entirely and go back, like, you're not helping yourself. And so if you start slow, gain confidence, learn the things you need to learn, it's going to be a journey. Like, it's taken me a long time to be where I am. And so just taking it slow isn't a bad thing if you're building solid habits. I think it'd be very beneficial, and it's something that you can take with you the rest of your life, and one day it won't even feel like you're trying very hard. It's just like second nature, like this is what I've craved, this is what I want, this is what I'm eating, this is what's good for me. And so I wish you the best luck, Alex. I hope it works out, and I hope you just thrive entirely. And if you aren't thriving, I hope you don't give up, but you just try to figure out what's going on, and try to figure out a way around it, because there's a lot of things that when people go carnivore, they realize that, oh wow, this is a lot of fat, my body's not used to it, and it's like, of course it's not that used to it. So you have to do some things sometimes to make yourself heal that gut, make you receive that fat a little bit better. Or you're just like, maybe males sometimes aren't able to receive as much fat or handle that fat as like a woman would be. And so there's just different things. Medicine is dear. But yeah, have a good evening. Okay, have you added stovetop covers to your shopping list? Amazon, add to cart. Stovetop covers. That would probably be a good thing. Just because, obviously, bacon grease goes everywhere, butter stuff just goes everywhere, the meat, like all the fat goes everywhere when I'm searing my steaks. And so, that might be a good thing. But at a point that I go and I entirely scrub my stovetop, then maybe I'll have to get them. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. MEJ. Oh, sorry, King Adjust. Got it. Then yes, you comment away. Comment away regardless. I don't know the release date for GTA 6. I think you've got yourself into the wrong chat. Have I ate loin meat? Like New York strip loin, pork loin, pork or lamb chop loin. Any of those three, yes. But if you're talking about anything else, I'm not aware of what you're talking about. Okay, back to agate. When I worked in the oil fields in South Texas, I had a javelina wild boar tacos, and they were spectacular. Wild game meat is the healthiest. That sounds amazing. What in the world? I need to go to Texas to get myself some wild boar, I guess. Sheesh. Sounds delicious. Are potatoes healthy? It's in the same realm as other things. If you're not thriving, I would say take them out. They can be very, like if you have skin issues like eczema, rashes, or anything like that, like they can be especially toxic to you, and have you react poorly to things when your skin is not reacting well. So I'd be aware that it can be like inflammatory in that way. But if you handle them well, if you're thriving, like all those things, yada yada, like you're feeling okay and you want to include them, and you think get the best quality of the quality potatoes, okay. Would I say they're as healthy as steak? No, because I view steak and beef and like ruminant animals as the healthiest thing possible. But if you're thriving and you can eat potatoes, and like I wouldn't tell you that you have an unhealthy diet if you're eating them and if you're thriving and all that stuff. Meat-based is crazy. I think it's amazing. Let's see. That was that question. Super chat. Oh, Genuine Joy, thank you. That sounds like a great method. Way to start getting into carnivore. Okay, I mixed those two people up. Well, I'm glad it was helpful. Thanks for the comment, Moonlight. And then Kara, so pretty, thank you. Alex, you're so kind. You listen to everybody. Your delivery is very calm and pleasant, and you say it with it. Wow, words. You say it with such conviction. I bet you're a believer. I am 100% a believer. Praise God. But thank you for your sweet comment. Buffalo is extinct. Did I mean bison? I mean, I have. Good evening. Good evening, SMH cast. Let's see. back to agate, seeing the example of how healthy it makes you seems to be the best way to convince others. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. I think that's the best way to have another person change, because they're not going to change based on, an argument when they have a total opposing view. They're not going to change when you tell them, what you're doing isn't healthy, or tell them like you're feeding your child something that's super unhealthy. I think it just kind of instantly goes into like a defense mode. I don't know what it is about humans just in a natural way. Like, for some reason, we want to go into this defense mode instead of saying, okay, could there be any truth to that? Okay, decide yes or no, and then figure it out for themselves, do their own research. But I think it always goes into this defense mode for some reason. I don't know why. But when you do something and you do it in a joyful, in a way that's, you're changing and you're just kind of glowing and things are just getting better for you and you're healing all these things, and then it's like, wow, like they're really doing great. And it's like, what are they doing? Oh, it's the carnivore diet or a meat-based diet or just living healthier. Like, now that seems more appealing because, they've had this good feeling. They've had these good things happen to them, these changes, these different autoimmune issues being in remission or anything like that. I think that's way more appealing and way more convincing, like you say, to other people, because you can tell them as much as you want, and they're just not going to receive it until they're ready. Like, I've had a personal relationship in my life where a family member was just not healthy. He just wasn't eating appropriate diet, and just wasn't treating his body right, wasn't feeding his family right, things like that. And then all of a sudden it just clicked for him, and it was just like, yeah. And the next conversation we had, he was talking about, oh yeah, I'm cooking with tallow. Have you heard of tallow? And I'm like, yes, I have. It's great. I'm glad you love it. And so it's just like, it kind of has to be their own idea. And whoa, that is an amazing gift. I appreciate you, Killy's boy. You're absolutely amazing, and I appreciate you so much. But yeah, it has to be their idea in order to have that change. Because if you think about it, if I don't believe in something over there, I'm not gonna do it. If I don't think walking is good for me, then I'm not gonna do it. Or it just has to be something that is changed within them to make them want to go carnivore or live healthier or get sunlight or whatever it may be. Hi, Jack Cooksey. Let's see. Bill Bruford, Stonegate. Yeah, you guys are having a conversation. Cool. Had rib roast and beef heart. Love rib roast. Beef heart. Love beef heart too. If you're gonna have an organ, I always say go beef heart, because that is the best organ. I think it's not I love liver too, but it's not like liver to where liver has a very distinct strong taste. But I think heart is a little more palatable. So if you're trying to go into an organ out there, I would start with beef heart. And a lot of butchers actually will help be very helpful and grind it up for you, so you can just implement it into your burgers or put it into your little carnivore meatloaf or put it into your ground beef in the morning or whatever it may be. Beef heart is yummy. There's times where I actually crave it, and I'm like, okay, I must have needed some beef heart. James, I lived on a cattle ranch from 8 to 21, and I cannot hardly stomach steak. That is unfortunate. I would be curious to know what you're eating currently, or what you've grown to eat now, what your environment is like, how active you are, if you have any health things going on. I would love to dive into that, because I don't think that's very normal. And I wonder, sometimes is it mental, or a mental, you're just not you've kind of psyched yourself out. There's a lot of things. I'm not saying that exact for you, but I would be really curious to know more of what your situation was growing up, what you're eating with that, what it was cooked with, what seasonings were put on there consistently, and maybe there's some sort of way we could figure out okay, maybe it wasn't the steak, it was maybe seasonings or how you cooked it, or maybe you developed some sort of issue in your gut, and that your gut's telling you that's not what you want, when you just need to heal your gut, and then you'll start craving again. Because I've had that before. I've had that. A really good friend of mine actually, she was like, I don't like steak. I can't. It doesn't sit well with me. I, like all the things. And I was like, okay, well, have you tried steak with just like steak, tallow, or just butter and salt? And uh, she's like, wow, like this, I actually have tried it and it's been amazing. It doesn't hurt my stomach. And so we learned that like the spices were what was triggering her. And so, like, there's different things you can try. I would recommend trying some things out. You're trying to make me hungry. Hey, coming close to my dinner time. I'm eating dinner a little late tonight, and so I'm getting there too with this talk. Okay, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to eat those lamb chops. Those, what are they called? Lamb chop. Why am I blanking? The little T-bone ones from Costco, and you can get them at like Sam's Club too. Delicious, so good. You have to eat them like steaks though. I know people sometimes like will like slow roast them. I'm sure that's great, but steaks, so good. Omaha Steaks. I've heard of them. They're like they're like is that the one that I'm thinking of where they do a lot of like selling to like across the nation? Not like Butcher Box, but something kind of like that. I think. If not, I'm wrong. Shopping list. How do you decide what to get healthy wise? How do I decide? I decide basically like what we're craving that week. I try to stay within a budget because I don't have just an unlimited budget. Maybe one day that budget will expand a little bit, but we'll try to keep an eye out on deals. We're going to the grocery store pretty frequently, and that's kind of the best way to get deals. And so I kind of just go with deals / what has the least or no ingredients. I don't eat anything that doesn't have like an ingredient list. Basically, if they have like if my steak or not steak, if like my meat has some sort of like solutions or anything on it, seasonings, I don't eat it. I do all that stuff myself. I don't want to put any type of I don't want to eat any type of like sugars or dextrose or anything that they usually put on like those seasonings at the stores. So that's not what I prioritize as healthy. So that's kind of how I decide. I decide what's the single ingredient meat focused thing that I'm going to eat that week, and what does my husband want, or my husband's doing it for me. What does my wife want, or whatever. And so that's kind of how it is. My jawline is looking strong. That's interesting. I've never heard that before. When I was younger, I'd always have like little like chubby cheeks, so I just always thought like I just kind of have chubby cheeks. But I will say, eating carnivore, I have like that has gone down a lot, and so that's been really cool to see. Just like the different aspects of your body kind of changing, and inflammation and bloating in certain ways that I'd never really thought that I had. And then as far as like, like veins and stuff, like just all sorts of things you don't really realize until it starts to happen, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I wasn't meant to be that like, like poofy. But the tips, just eat cleaner, I think. I will say, like, in any time that I have not been as strict, I definitely notice it in my face. I don't, let's see. You don't like vegetables. I don't love a lot of vegetables, no. There's a couple that I'm like, oh, that could be nice in this meal. And then I have it, and then I'm done. But yeah, broccoli, no thank you. Cauliflower, no thank you. Asparagus, sometimes, barely. But vegetables, they're like the least of all the groups that I like. Like, meat is the best. And then you go to like your fats, your dairies, love that. And then you go, if you want to do like in the summertime, nice fruit. Okay, those are tasty, I will say. But yeah, vegetables, not on there, really. Like a couple of them, maybe. Have I ever ate wild game? Yes. Believe wild game has been just deer. Something else. Monte McClar, hi. Arch Jesus loves you all. Yes, he does. What is the difference between carnivore and meat-based? Alex asks. Carnivore is literally just, your steak, your eggs if you're going to do the eggs, butter, bacon, beef, all that other beefs, all the ruminant animals, and then you can decide what kind of carnivore you're doing if you're going to do, like, the chicken in there, the shrimp, and then the seafood. But basically, beef and eggs is like carnivore. And then you can decide if you wanted to do dairy on top of that. And then meat-based is more like you're focused on meat, just all those same meats as carnivore would be, but maybe will allow like this occasional ripe fruit or this occasional least lower toxic vegetable or things like that. So it's basically like a meat focused diet, and that's like genuinely focused on it. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm like animal based, but I'm consuming a ton of fruit, and like fruit is my majority of my diet. Like that's not what I'm talking about. Like meat based is like, I'm eating mostly meat, and like that's my priority. And there's a couple of other foods that I tolerate well, that I like, or whatever it may be. And so that's kind of what I mean by when I say meat based. Abby, my favorite friend passed away today, and it's very hard for me to go through it today. I'm very sorry to hear that. Like, that is very sad. We weren't meant to deal with all this death, so I'm sorry. But I pray that you would heal, and that this time would be somehow that God would bring you peace in this, which He could totally do it. So, I have very pretty hair. Thank you. Thank you. It actually is quite a mess. It was a little bit like windy towards the end of the day, but thank you. Glad to think so. Thanks for the emojis. Hello, ye less fits. Oh, oops. I meant, did you ever eat lion meat? No, I have not. Have you? And how did it taste? How did you eat it? Like, I would love to know more about that. I do love like lions. They're just such a beautiful animal, and so I would be curious to all those details. If any of you have ate lion meat, let me know down below. Answered the snore thing already, but no, I don't snore, I believe. Homely looking. That's funny. Agate, appreciate you. And then, yeah, that gift, the Achilles boy, there it is. Still appreciate you so much. Thank you very much. You have pretty eyes. Wow, thank you. Thank you. They are nice and brown. What about Portland, Oregon? Do you live in Portland, Oregon? Do you like Portland, Oregon? I don't particularly visit Portland, Oregon very much. So pretty, thanks. Portland sucks. Let's see. Oh, okay, let's read this one. This is from Agate. I'd love to see you and your husband do an interview with Dave from No Carb Life. I think the younger generation listens more to their peers. The more people in carnivore, the better. That would be fun. I didn't even think about that. My husband is a phenomenal person who is like knowledgeable in carnivore and all of this stuff, and is very passionate about it as well. But he doesn't do the whole like camera thing as much, and I would love for him to do it. So that would be really cool if we can do the convincing on that part. And Dave is such a good like he does his podcast really well. I think he lets the people talk. He conversates. He's a very nice guy. I was lucky enough to go on No Carb Life when I first started this YouTube channel, and like he was just a genuinely nice guy, and so I would love to go back on his podcast or on his YouTube. Like, super nice guy. Yeah, I have no complaints about doing that. I would love to do that over and over. Dave is awesome. But I do like what you said. I think younger generation listens better to their peers. I think that does ring true. I think we just sometimes get the whole like your mom tells you what to do and you don't really listen, or like your aunts and uncles like they tell you what to do and you don't really like care to listen. Like it's just like as an adult you're like, why am I gonna listen to these old people? But then once you see and hear like people who are just like you talk, I'm just like, okay, why are we like this as humans? We're more susceptible. So I think you can definitely turn on that hat and learn from older people for sure. But it's just something that's the younger generation for sure just listens to better, I think, yeah. London, hi. Ema, first time chatter. Oh, I'm a first time chatter. Well, thank you for chatting for the first time, for joining us. I appreciate you. Let's see. We will be doing a big butcher in about 3 months. Beef, lamb, pork, and chickens. Lots of chickens. That is a dream. Oh my gosh, Chris, you are blessed, my friend. That's amazing. I bet it's a lot of work, but that's amazing. That is like where my husband and I want to be. We want to be having our beef to butcher, have our chickens and all that stuff. I don't know if I would have a pig though, but why not? You're doing it all already. What I meant, have you ever ate lion meat? Okay, we got that one already. What are your thoughts on milk and yogurt? I tried your advice on cream cheese and eggs. Delicious. Isn't it? So good. I just, cream cheese and eggs is just amazing. Especially if you do it in like an omelet style, like it's just so good. My thoughts on milk and yogurt. My thoughts on milk specifically is I love raw milk specifically. I think it tastes better, it sits better on my stomach. Although I can handle like whole milk dairy since I've been like healed. It just is like way easier to digest, way easier. You feel it's a lot lighter. The taste of it's better. It actually tastes like something. It's not like watered down milk like what I view whole milk as today. Like the classic, cheap just whole milk. It's nothing compared to raw milk, and I think if you can get your hands on raw milk, that's amazing. Great quality raw milk, and the carbs. People always tell me like, oh, you're not afraid of the carbs in milk. I'm like, no, if I feel good on milk and I feel good on this dairy, this natural food, I'm not worried about it. I mean, I'm not worried about like, if that knocks me out of ketosis, that's fine. My goal is to eat the healthiest possible. Yeah. And yogurt, I do love yogurt. I actually don't get it very often, but I have gotten it like recently, and it's tasty. I love that like tardiness to it. I think it's nice to add something tardy like that every now and then. And I think yogurt is great. I've even tried like making yogurt myself off of like, doing like, not the full batch of Instant Pot yogurt, but doing it in like in a bunch of like mason jars, and it turned out really well. I thought that was great. I thought that was fun. So one day I'll do a massive, like whole Instant Pot of yogurt, and maybe we'll develop a recipe. That would be great. Oh, those emojis are fun. Love that. Let's see. Do you like seafood? Have you ever had trouser trout? I don't think so. I've had a few different varieties of trout, but I don't know which ones they were. Believe for sure it was rainbow and something else. But I do like seafood, yeah. Trout is yummy. Would be curious to know if I've had trouser trout or not, but who knows. But yeah. Hello, Nostalgic Void. Way too far back in chat. No, you're right there. Agate. Let's see. Got Alex here. And then we're coming on the end of all these chats. If you want to get in your last questions, I can look into them next if you want to get any more before we wrap up. But I want to answer Alex. Can you and your husband do an interview with Lily Kane and Steak and Butter Gal? I mean, I would love that. Those people are awesome, I'm sure. Lily Kane and Steak and Butter Gal. Yeah, I mean, I would love to. Maybe I should reach out to them and see what they say. But I'm very, very appreciative that you want to have my husband on there. That is, yeah, he's a good guy. But yeah, it would be fun to put him on the channel a little bit because he has a different take, and I think you guys would like it. He's a funny guy. Yeah. Carnivore VP. Thanks. I've been looking for raw dairy local and have no luck. I am doing BBBE for 30 days on day 10. Whoop! Good job. You're a third of the way there. Keep it going. And we'll try to get some. Excited to try it. Please do a yogurt tutorial. That would be fun. It's fairly simple. It's just like with a bunch of mason jars and like an old yogurt that you've had that's still good. But yeah, I'll definitely try to do that. That'd be fun in one of my like more vlog style videos, I think. So it can kind of be more laxed and more like showing something that I do that's natural. I also do things like my homemade beef tallow soaps and beeswax things and whatnot. So I've always been kind of curious, like, should I add some of those into the videos, in some of my like vlog style videos? It's where we talk about like how I can make, you know, beeswax candles or beef tallow and beeswax soaps and stuff like that. So yeah. But anyway, good luck on the BBE. I hope you get some good results and hope you enjoy. And yeah, I hope you find some raw milk. If you'd let me know what state you're in, that would be helpful. Maybe I have some sort of tip, but yeah. Let's see. Hi to Clip. And yep, hi. Alright, if there's any more lives, we are live. If there's any more questions or comments or anything like that, let me know down below. I'd greatly appreciate any of it. And I would love to kind of just chat with you for a little longer if you want. What are you guys having for dinner? If you had it, what did you have for dinner? I have, like I said, I got those lamb chop loins on deck, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna probably cook them right on my cast iron, and we're gonna do some tallow, some butter. All right, well, I will have to bid you all adieu. Alex, God bless us all. Oh yeah, please bless us all. All right, well, it was fun chatting with you guys. I appreciate all of you. I hope to see you in my next video. Video's coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned. I try to post every Monday and Thursday. Oh, Christine. Hi, Tatiana. Oh, it's the end of the live. It is. If you have a question, drop it. I'll stay here for a couple minutes for you. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. If I post every Monday and Thursday right now, that's the goal. And so you know when to come on and you'll see me. Yeah, I try to do a bunch of what I eat in the days. I've got a couple like a vlog style video coming out, and yeah. If you have any recommendations on what I can do in the future video wise, let me know. I'd love to know. You'll watch the replay? Okay, great. I love that. Okay, well, I'm gonna go eat some dinner. Hopefully you had a great dinner, and if you haven't had dinner, go eat some good food. Go eat a steak. Okay, bye for now. See you soon. I don't know how to get out of here.